Okay, we're going to start this a little bit differently this week. A lot of guys, the knock on professional wrestling, to be honest, it's fake. That's the biggest thing they do us as wrestling fans, right? It's fake. A little bit of realism happened, though, in the world of wrestling. They say in the world of professional wrestling, when you encounter the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, you become a changed person. Daniel Bryan, Alexa Bliss, someone else just Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins snapped after he got to John Cena. Now, John Cena, was with Nikki Bella for how long? Against getting married, and I don't want to get married. They finally separate. He has an encounter with the Fiend. That was the last time we saw John Cena. Now he's marrying this new girl he's dated for less than, 6 months? He changes people, folks. Welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 24. Where it's real here. You do not want to encounter the Fiend. We're going 4 strong right off the bat here. We will go counterclockwise, I guess, from the bottom left. Ryan Joy from Men'sWorldTime.com. How's everything going today, pal?
Very good, very good. In honor of PWI, I've got my Kabuki Warrior shirt on.
Yeah, I know. You showed me that earlier. I miss Kyrie so much. I hope she's doing well back home overseas. In the bottom right corner will be the first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today, pal?
Not too bad. Pleasure to be aboard as always.
Yeah, and this as our senior Impact correspondent, happy Bound for Glory, pal. This is your episode. I expect you to shine later on. And in the top right corner, as always, John Smith. How are things going today? I am still recovering from that egg I laid in fantasy football against you this weekend. I apologize about that. You know my team's better than that.
Hey, and I didn't even have Russell Wilson going this week.
Absolutely awful. Whatever. Still, it's, one loss ain't going to win a championship run here. But yes, we are episode 24. Like I said, we were discussing in pre-production. This is our Snoop Dogg driving down the aisle in a Mercedes-Benz golf cart as the host of the Playboy Lumberjack Mania match, or whatever it was. I can't remember. This is our Floyd Mayweather knocking out the Big Show with a pair of brass knucks episode. And then this is our Belfast Brawl. A lot of people forget, Bradshaw and Finley. Sure, give a Belfast Brawl. Why not? On today's episode, unfortunately, Lana is not the best. Lana is not number one.
Look better than Swole, though.
Moxley, Sheeta, Cody, and FTR all with successful title defenses on the first anniversary show. Jey Uso got a couple licks in on the big dog on SmackDown. The Garganos have to spin the wheel and make a deal next week at Halloween Havoc. Gary Mahaffey is back with us this week to discuss the huge tag team main event match that was last Thursday on NXT UK. Plus go over everything that is the Heritage Cup tournament that's taking place. Ryan Joy, who I already introduced, he's on screen right now, but he will be back later on as well to discuss the conclusion of the G1 Climax, a 37-minute final at 3 in the morning. I don't know how you guys do it, right? But, man, plus the Ring of Honor Championship Tournament, the Pure Championship Tournament, that's still going on as well. We have our semifinals matches set for that. I'm going to reveal number 23 of my top 30 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. As we continue our countdown to WrestleMania 37, we are 23 weeks away. So get excited about that, the Showcase of the Immortals at the end of March. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows presented by MinutesToBellTime.com and Ryan Joy. All of the stats and the graphics are provided by him. Thank you very much, Ryan. And as always, they're sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. You're going cross style, Ryan. I like your style. And included into those picks will be today's main event, which we're going to pick the winners of Sunday's Hell in the Cell. And as I mentioned earlier, Impact has Bound for Glory this weekend. This is their WrestleMania. This is the biggest show that they put on the calendar year. So get excited. Spoiler alert, double points going for Bound for Glory. Join the Essential Wrestling Podcast who played against us. Or just you can create a pool with your friends. So just go all the gambling needs you want at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Not that I'm promoting gambling. It's for entertainment purposes only. How about that? There you go.
Okay, cool.
We're going to lead off the show as we did a couple weeks ago. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they came out with the top 500 men. They ranked the top 500 men in professional wrestling, as they do every year, and they do the women as well. The women came out. I don't have it. Anyway, the top 100 women came out, and with no surprise, really, I think this was a little bit more obvious than Jon Moxley. Ryan Joy, I know you want to sit in and chime in on this. Bayley, she's been champion for over a year now. She's been champion and dominating. I think she's beat the old SmackDown roster pre-draft. She beat them twice each, I want to say.
Yeah.
There's no reason for her not to be number one here.
Yeah, if you take out the 11 days that Charlotte was champion, Bayley has been that SmackDown champion for 410 days or so. Dominant reign. She had the tag titles. To me, I think it's obvious. I think a lot of people are going to be annoyed because they are kind of sick of Bayley, but to me, it's a fairly obvious choice.
Yeah, like ding dong. Hello, number one, John Smith.
Well, to me, Asuka will always be number one. But I mean, Bayley definitely deserves it. I like to see Io up there. I didn't notice what her number was, but I hope Io is pretty high up on the list too.
9.
Yeah, we have the graphic right here, John the Connick. I can let you chime in first. Here are the top 5. Like I said, Bayley, the current, and like I said, reigning SmackDown champion for as long as we can remember. Becky Lynch she came in at number 2, even though taking time off since April, since after WrestleMania 36 due to her pregnancy. Asuka came in at number 3. She's been running roughshod since Becky left. Her Highness the Queen, Charlotte Flair, coming in at number 4. Sasha Banks, number 5. All 4 horsemen in the top 5 here, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to complain about here. I might have put Asuka above Becky Lynch just because Becky's taking some time off, but there's really not much to say about that top 5. Pretty much what you would expect, and all well deserved.
Yeah, I don't think I think for the past however many, I know Ronda Rousey was in it the past couple of years as well. But seriously, those are the top 5. Those are the best in the biz. I mean, I don't think there's any arguments here. I'm just trading places on who has a better year here and there, or the other thing. And then Ryan, real quick, I forgot to mention this. This is from October.
October 1st through September 30th. And
yes, October 1st, September 30th. Do you have the criteria again? I don't know.
I do. Championships won, quality of opposition, technical proficiency, win-loss record, overall activity, momentum, promotional push, and in the case of Becky Lynch, they did note that she learned how to drive a 16-wheeler during the evaluation period.
That she did. I believe she pulled up a 16-wheeler at WrestleMania and a couple of Raws before that. Going into numbers 6 through 15, AEW Women's Champion, she came in at number 6. She's had a great year. Tessa Blanchard was stuck in Mexico. That didn't stop her from coming in at number 7. Being a men's world champion, I guess you really can't. If you're running a men's division too, I guess that's going to throw you in the top 10. The first ever AEW champion, Rio, at number 8. Io Shirai at 9. Mayu Iwatani, Ryan Joy. For those that don't speak Lucha Underground, I spy the Black Lotus Triad here.
Yeah, I mean, this positioning 6 through 10 makes sense to me. Shida had a very dominant run to champion. Tessa, same thing. Riho, the first ever champion, which happened as soon as the evaluation period started. Io Shirai comes into her own. She did a moonsault off a cage during this evaluation period. I'm good.
Yeah. And then John Smith, Rhea Ripley at number 11, John DeConnie, Jordan Grayson at number 12. Those are your top 2 girls right there from your respective companies. And you got Shayna Baszler at 13, who had a great year. Thunder Rosa, again, who's just shined recently, but she's been, NWA champion for a while now. Kimber Lee, that kind of shocks me, but I guess she was killing it in the independent scene before she got the Impact, or else maybe I can't understand why she'd be ranked that high if she wasn't. So good for her. Then we got 16 through 25 here. Nyla Rose, Ty Valkyrie. Oh, this is going to be confusing. We got Kaylee Ray and Kylie Ray. 18-19. Nikki Cross with a great year, 20. There's Kyrie. There's the other third of the Black Lotus Triad. For those who don't know the Black Lotus Triad, it was the Iwatani girl. I've never heard her. I've never seen other than that. But the other two were Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. So the three of them were killing people in Lucha Underground for a little bit. That was a lot of fun. The Good Doctor at 22. Bianca Belair 23. Look for her to go top 10 next year. That's a call there. Dakota Kai, Alpha K. John DeConnie. Your thoughts on this?
I love this whole grouping's full of really talented women. Of course, I love seeing Jordan there at number 12 and Shayna, one of my other favorites, at 13. Up here in the bumping up against 25. Yeah, I think 22 and 23 will both be inside the top 15, maybe even the top 10. I imagine by next year.
Yeah, they've already been shooting off Bianca Belair. I don't see any reason why. I think 23 is a good spot with her, considering I think she's the 8 eliminations in a Royal Rumble. That is the all-time women's record. Her and Shayna Baszler both tossed 8 in last year's women's Royal Rumble. But if you put 8 even on the men's side, that's top 10 eliminations in a single Rumble. John Smith, we got a couple other notables here. I wanted to put out there. Tegan Knox at 26, Alexa Bliss 27. Those are our two show favorites. They got Peyton Royce, Penelope Ford. They're up there as well. Nia Jax, we'll just throw in there. Never thought I'd ever use the number 69 and mention Nia Jax in the same sentence. Is there. So I figured I'd put it up there. And why Zaya Brookside wasn't rated, I don't know. I will be upset. She better be rated next year, PWI.
Yeah, was Deonna Purrazzo anywhere?
I will get to her in a second because John Smith, we have our Jersey girls.
There you go.
She came in at number 30. Sonya Deville, who was recently unemployed, quote unquote, in at 56. Tasha Steelz from Newark and Impact in at 67. Liv Morgan from North Jersey, she went to SmackDown. She came in at number 84. Casey Catanzaro, again, she didn't make the top 100. Look for her to get on there next year. I feel like her and Caden Carter, they're going to get something going eventually in NXT.
I would have liked to have seen Purrazzo go a little higher. I liked seeing Dakota and Nikki Cross break that top 25, but I think Purrazzo should have been in there too. And just to correct you, you said Rhea Ripley's the top girl in NXT, but it's Io Shirai, buddy.
Io Shirai.
She's the gold standard over there. Put some respect on her name.
Yeah, well, Shirai beat her, so right, she pinned her right in the middle of the ring.
Shirai's actually back one spot from last year. She was 8 last year. No, she's not.
Unbelievable.
But Ripley is up from 35 to 11. So there you go.
Wow. And now it's that time. It's that time. Actually, Ryan, I know you're big on this. I know you said you bought the subscription for this year's PWI's 100. I actually purchased next year's PWI 100, the 2021 top 100. And I don't mean to be that guy to spoil it for everybody, but next year's number 1 ranked wrestler in the world is Eva Marie. Pending on her return, like I said, PWI is predicting this now. Eva Marie will come back as number 1. So that is next year. Eva Marie number 1, and Rohit Raju on the men's side will go from number 405 or 407, whatever number he was. He will jump 400 spots to the top 10. So we're going to switch gears out here to AEW, who just celebrated their first anniversary. So that was episode 53. If I'm correct, my math is correct, right? They celebrated 1 year, 152. So that was 53rd episode. John Smith, Lance Archer attacked Jon Moxley backstage earlier tonight. Moxley then fired back, and all of a sudden this match is no disqualification.
Yeah, I mean, it's what this rivalry needed. It's probably what the finish should have needed, but the finish didn't end with any sort of, chicanery as far as steel chairs or tables or whatnot. They used that stuff, but not for the finish. When Lance Archer first won the Battle Royal to get this shot, I was like, okay, he's the next champion. They're not going to have him get 2 shots at 2 titles and lose them both. But, last week I changed my mind because I think they're going to make you pay for that, and I think they're going to do this again, judged by the way they finished it with the roll up and how Lance Archer kept beating them up. So, they got a pay-per-view soon. So I'm hoping that this happens again and Lance Archer can hold that belt finally.
Yeah, it was funny because Mox hit the paradigm shift right off the bat, right when the bell rang, and I would have died. I would have laughed hysterically if the match has ended right then and there. Kicked out. Oh, I was like, oh my god, this is over. Because who kicks out of that? Why not that many people kick out of that? But yeah, he said it was a roll up. It was a reverse. Lance Archer was going for the blackout. Moxley reversed it for the pinfall. Brian Joy, Cody. See, here's the thing. Cody's the grandson of a plumber, right?
He sure Prince of Pro Wrestling, even.
Well, that's what I was exactly getting at, Ryan. When your father was the commonest of all common men, representing the common folk, specifically in a feud with somebody who was wearing a crown on their head and calling people peasants in a landmark feud back in 1990. I feel a little contradictable that Cody calls himself the Prince of anything. I don't think Bucky's happy right now.
Yeah, that's true. I think the dream, the common man, is probably rolling in his grave. But yes, Prince of Pro Wrestling. You want me to go into the match here?
Yeah, I just think maybe just like up and head, Macho King Randy Savage put his crown on after that. It was nudging Dusty. I tell you, kid, your son's a punk. Yes, get into the match. You had a title fight against Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, so Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler, they hold the double DQ and the double countouts, the only two in AEW history. Pac and Omega have the only regular DQ. Cody, he's Mr. Draw. And I think we should have seen it coming from the moment they panned the camera to Darby Allin in the stands that the draw was coming. But, decent match. Orange Cassidy had his first lockup right as the match was coming to a close. I was there in the arena, and you could, even though I didn't have the commentary of them continuing to remind us about the time expiring and stuff, it was evident to me that that's where it was going. So, and it was I think it's a good finish. I'm glad AEW used it because it doesn't hurt either guy and sets us up for another match.
Well, that's what it said. They rebooked this right away to go up against Halloween Havoc. Actually, not tomorrow night, but they're doing this 2 weeks from tonight, tomorrow or next week. To go up against Halloween Havoc on the 28th.
And Darby will be on the stand for that too.
Full gear. The winner gets Darby Allin at full gear. I'm sorry, Ron, I cut you off. What was that?
No, I think and Darby Allin will probably be in the stands for that. Watch that match too, and that's a Halloween appropriate character to have in the stands.
John DeConnie, FTR defeated the Best Friends to retain the tag team titles. This was not a 20-minute brush with glory. It was a full 60-minute limit match. It didn't go the full 60, thank God, because there's a lot of other matches that would have been canceled if it did.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, FTR started with the skullduggery quite early. Charlie tried to interfere. It backfired. Chuck countered a sunset flip for a 2 count. Then they hit the soul food half and half combo with a running knee for another 2 count. And then things broke down. They wound up outside the ring. A poor arcade machine got destroyed. And that was just enough of a distraction on the ref for Cash to use one of the championships on Trent and allow Dax to get the pinfall to retain the titles.
Yes, 2 things with that. One, you mentioned Soul Food. I kind of giggled because it's either called Soul Food or Eat Defeat, which I think is kind of clever too. Which one do you like better, John DeConnie?
I've heard Soul Food more often, but Eat Defeat, I think I definitely would give the nod to.
Yeah, I think that was a Gail Kim. That was just specifically for Gail Kim, right? Eat Defeat.
Yeah, I think maybe 2 weeks ago on Impact in 60. I think that was the first time I heard that. I saw her use that.
Right.
Yeah, so it gave me a nice chuckle.
Yeah, that move is punishing. Hey. Yeah, and the second thing is that wasn't just anybody's arcade game. It looked like something that Miro purposely purchased for Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Miro was not happy.
Not in the least.
So yeah, Miro and Kip Sabian actually had a match right after that with Lee Johnson and Sean Maluta. What up, Oos? He's involved in that family. I wonder if he's going to be at Hell in the Cell. He's in the stands anyway. But Miro made Maluta tap out to the game over, and like I said, Miro has the console already broken off in his hands. He's gunning right for the best friends now. So
He called them the good friends. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, good friends, you break my bleep. Game over. That's it. Man. I do not want to be Chuck Taylor or Trent Beretta right now. Wait, can I use Trent's last name? Just is that copyrighted?
We're definitely gonna get in a double stacked game over at some point.
Yes. That'd be fun. So that ended the AEW first anniversary show. We'll get to our standings at the end because I forgot there's a couple other things anyway. But there was a tumbler in the ring, Royal Rumble style, and they pulled out 4 tag teams at random. And these are the teams that were picked, and then they're going to have a fatal 4-way this Wednesday, where the winners will challenge FTR at Full Gear on November 7th. So we got Private Party, we got the Young Bucks, we got the Butcher and the Blade, and we got Reynolds and Silver of the Dark Order. This is going to be a show because, if John Silver is involved, this is going to be a show. So Ryan Joy, we will start with you.
Yeah, I don't know why you're laughing. The smart money's on Reynolds and Silver, for sure.
Yeah, smart money's on Reynolds and Silver. Silver can go.
I like all 4 of these teams, but, it just feels like we're going to the Young Bucks with this.
Yeah,
We've been building to this forever.
Yeah, I'm going to jump the line here, too. I believe it was Matt Jackson even posted, too. All of his accolades. This time many junior tag team champions, this time many world champions, Ring of Honor, this champion, this, which means Reynolds and Silver are going to win. John,
wouldn't be the worst.
Yeah, I don't see any way this doesn't lead to us finally getting that payoff of Young Bucks and FTR.
Yeah, it's about that time. We've been saying this since FTR debuted. John Smith.
I guess I got to go with you guys. I just don't know why they're doing this feud as, heel on heel action. Like the Bucks are kind of tweeners right now, but they're leaning more heel, and I feel like they should have had them, build it up to more of a hatred before they have this match.
But maybe this could start the hatred. There's no reason why this feud has to end at Full Gear. So all right, I like your way you're doing. To be continued. I like that. Interesting. MJF's big announcement. John DeConnie, you were right. I was the one that got it backwards. MJF wants to join the Inner Circle. 4 guys said no, but the one guy that has the most pull in the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, said we'll talk about it over dinner. So we have Le Dinner Debonair. This Wednesday is also a lot of questions going around social media. Who's picking up the check? Are they going to order dessert? All that fun stuff.
Will there be mimosas?
Will there be mimosas at dinner? Do you have mimosas at dinner? On the list of things I never thought I'd see in professional wrestling, Tony Schiavone got his chest waxed on television, interviewing Britt Baker. The Good Doctor will be in action as well. She has an unnamed opponent. You gotta be assuming that her and Shida is going to be coming up as well for Full Gear. There really is no reason to hold Britt Baker back anymore. Now that she's healthy, and I tell you what, the doctor that worked on her nose did a pretty good job. And then, speaking of Hikaru Shida, she defeated Big Swole on the first anniversary show with the Shining Wizard finish that she uses. So she got the title retention. Matt Hardy and his family was there. Matt's back to being 100%. And not for long, because Sammy Guevara is not giving up on this feud, and he apparently wants to completely end Matt Hardy's career. So to be continued with that. And then the number 1 contenders tournament, the Eliminator tournament, Ryan Joy. We'll start with you on this. Go around the horn anywhere you want to go here. It starts tomorrow night. These are the matchups here. I know this is all, you kind of want to set up Kenny Omega and Adam Page, but they're putting Penta and Penta, you my best friend, Penta and Rey Fenix going up against each other. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the match tonight. I think
100%.
that Pentagon and Phoenix match. And then obviously kind of the picks that I think everybody's expecting to make is Omega and Page, and then it doesn't really matter, probably maybe Jungle Boy. But, kind of going off what John Smith said about the Young Bucks, I had this thought that maybe this whole tournament is to set up the Kenny Omega and Hangman Page match at Full Gear, because they didn't win these matches.
Okay, you're going to go the other way with it, huh?
I mean, there's no points on the line, so I might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Yes, exactly. John DeConnie, we'll put the brackets back up for you, pal. Who do you got in these?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be that guy and just go with Omega and Page and those two real quick. The Penta Phoenix match, I'm gonna go with Penta just being a former world champion, but I mean, I don't think there's any wrong way of that one ending up. And let's say Wardlow to give either Omega or Page, a beast to have to beat on their way to the final.
Yeah, he'd have to fight Hangman Page in the next round. These are where the brackets are going. John Smith.
Yeah, I'm going with Page and Omega. I think they're going to go with the upset for Jungle Boy over Wardlow in some sort of fashion. Maybe that'll branch them off into some feud, so later on. And then, it's a coin flip on Penta and Rey, so I'll go with Rey Fenix.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Penta. Penta is my best friend. I've loved Penta L0M ever since Lucha Underground. Not that I have anything against Rey Fenix. If this was WWE, I think that would have no contest written all over it,
Sure.
and just give Kenny Omega the bye into Full Gear to fight Hangman Page. And I love Jungle Boy. It seems like every time we bet against him, he wins. But Wardlow, that's a tough out right there. That's a tough, very big size disadvantage for Jungle Boy to overcome. So that will do it for the first anniversary show in AEW. This is how we all scored from our picks last week. Tyler didn't ring the bell. John Smith and I, we had the same picks. We went 3-2, got 9 points. Ryan Joy also went 3-2, but he did not. Yeah, he had Lance Archer, so that's how he got 2 less points. John DeConnie, who also had Lance Archer, didn't get those points as well. So it was a pretty even show, pretty good show. These standings are, like I said, a little skewed. I know everybody's missing shows but mine, but me. So, just leave it at that. I'm not going to talk any trash about this one. So, gentlemen, we're going to pull you guys off screen for a little bit. We will be seeing all 3 of you very, very shortly. Feel free to go grab some groceries and say hello to your loved ones. Make sure the house is in order. As we bring in, there we go. As we're going to bring in Gary Mihefty from overseas. Gary, top of the evening to you, buddy. We missed you last week. How are things going today?
Oh, they're going well. Everything's grand. Feeling a wee bit ropey over the weekend, but all doing better now. So glad to be back.
Yeah, man, we're glad to have you. We missed you, and unfortunately, like I said, I know you had to have been a little upset. The reason you missed was Flash Morgan Webster got eliminated.
I know, that's what it was. I was in mourning for a week just that this didn't want to, I couldn't face it.
Yeah, and then he got jumped. Then he got jumped afterwards. That has to be the hunt, right? I mean, that can't be anything.
Yeah, that's it. Looks like that's the way they're going.
Yeah. So, but in the main event, we saw a little bit of history here, Gary. Last week in that tag team main event, I guess it's one of those things that never really dawns on you. Like the same thing happened on Raw when Randy pinned Drew. First time Drew's been pinned in over a year. That was Walter's first loss.
Yeah, that's the first ever pinfall loss, and I have to say, I feel like almost saying I'm not going to review anymore because that match to me was about 800 million stars. I just literally, from start to finish, I just could watch this every week. Please, just 25 minutes of this. Same 4, I don't care. All just unbelievable work from them all. And considering you have 3, like Walter is just on a different level, and so is Pete. Ilya Dragunov is superb, but actually, I mean, Alexander Wolf held his own as well. The four of them were just unbelievable, superb match, just superb.
It was an absolutely great match, and the best thing, at least for me, the best thing that could have happened was Ilya getting that pinfall. Because, Gary, I mean, we're going to put the match and the wrestling and everything, we're going to put that aside for a sec. I'm watching this, and I'm watching Pete Dunne and Walter the entire time. And I'm thinking, like, dude, if I'm Ilya Dragunov, like, I am pissed right now that Pete Dunne was stealing his thunder. He stole his thunder, and then Dragunov got the hot tag in, but it was against Alexander Wolf. So he couldn't even get that going. And then all of a sudden, he finally gets with Walter, and Walter slaps him and just power bomb and just beats the whole thing. I'm just sitting there like, they are doing Ilya Dragunov absolutely zero justice right now. As great as that match was going, but then he got the pinfall at the end. So I guess it was like, okay, that's just, okay, let's all just breathe here. At least for me, I could tell myself that, like, okay, it wasn't complete. But I'm sitting there like, dude, if I'm Dragunov, I am just pissed right now that Pete Dunne, who looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
His singlet looks like 3 sizes too small, Gary. Holy crap.
I know. He's got himself in good shape, even almost better shape than he was in when he was across the pond in NXT. But as you say, it was great to see Dragunov get that pin, because when the match comes in a couple of weeks' time, it's really set the scene well for it. I mean, and it should have everybody now thinking, okay, he's pinned him once. Yep. Can he pin him again? So.
Yep. And then this week coming up, they're having the contract signing for that match, which I do believe is not, I think it's 2 Thursdays from now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's 2. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So they will be having their contract signing for that this week, and we'll see how that goes. In the Heritage Cup, Gar, you mentioned in your notes last week that we read on air. The first 2 matches were kind of similar. You know, they're both 2-1 finishes, both in the 5th round. First round was more of a feeling.
But then this was anything but.
People out, apparently, huh?
Yeah, I was watching it going, okay, well, what's going to happen here? Oh, he's down, right? What's happening? I was like, oh, he's out. They've knocked him out. At first I watched it thinking, something's happened. This is an accident, and they've had to call an audible. And then when you see it back again, I'm going, no, they are trying to play this up like he has just flash knocked him out with a flash move. And you're going, do you know what? That's good, because when they were reading over the rules before it, and you think, yeah, they've put in the DQ, but so what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or the sign not the DQ, the knockout, pardon me. And then all of a sudden, it's like, boom, out he goes. I was like, okay, that was a really cool, really different way to end it.
And that just gives him that extra aspect going into the next round, Gary, because now there's so we got Massive Advance, we got Noam Dar and A-Kid going probably in 2 weeks, and this is just going in order. The match coming up on Thursday, we got Trent Seven and Kenny Williams, the Lucky, and Kenny Williams qualified for this, winning a triple threat match against Amir Jordan and now I'm blanking. Ashton Smith. Thank you. Sorry. Who do you like in this one, guy? This is a toss-up, looking at it this way. I can't think of anyone who would have a clear advantage in this.
No, but there was something I thought very interesting that happened when they spoke backstage. They did the backstage stuff with Kenny Williams, and you had Amir Jordan there being his cheerleader and very much involved in it. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Amir Jordan involved somehow. I think Trent Seven will win it. I think Trent Seven will take it, but I could easily see Amir Jordan somehow getting involved and screwing over Kenny Williams, because obviously they've signed, was it Tony Gill? He was Gursinder Singh in the Desi Hit Squad from Impact. They've signed him, and so it wouldn't surprise me to see that if Amir Jordan does something to Kenny Williams, maybe after the match if he loses, that he then is going to link down the line with him and have sort of like a UK Bollywood Boys type of tag team. So I could see something coming out of that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, because I wasn't aware of the signing UXT UK just had. I was going to go Kenny Williams with this. I like your theory. Maybe can we hold it off till next week after the Bomber knocks him out? They say the winner of this is going to get Dave Masters. They say Dave Masters is not going to be loud in this.
That's the thing. That's where you might. I think if I was going to face Dave Mastiff after his performance this week, I would probably just lie down on my back twice I'll join the job squad like Al Snow and just go, "No, you're okay, pin me here, and you're safer, I'll take it." As soon as the match starts, just tap yourself out twice on the shoulder and that's it. But just to make sure that you don't get knocked out.
Yeah. Also, last Thursday, Piper Niven and Isla Dawn. Piper Niven got the win with the Piper driver, so she's back to her winning ways. It wasn't a pretty match, Gar. But those two were hitting each other. They were going at it. Like that wasn't. JR would call bowling shoe ugly.
Yeah, they really were. And the thing is, they're both really good. And I think what it did was when I saw the match was happening, I thought, okay, Piper is going to win this quite quickly, or like she'll be very dominant. But she wasn't. Isla Dawn got a lot in, as you say. They were both really laying it in. And I think that there'd be good plans for Isla down the line. It focused on her. It gave her a good lot of offense in, and she is a great young wrestler as well. Seen her quite a few times across here in Ireland, and it'll be really cool to see. So hopefully there'll be big things for both of them. Yeah,
this was Scottish War here, right? You wanted one of these two to join Gallus too, right? It's just something like Scottish. That'd be fun. The only other match that was booked, other than the Heritage Cup, there was a match booked between Oliver Carter and Eddie Dennis. I don't have a graphic for it, but Eddie Dennis, they were building him pretty strong before the pandemic happened, and there's a gimmick change, and now he's you put on a suit and tie, and you're 10 times tougher. That's how WWE
I was surprised. I figured that he was just going to go down the line as a manager with Pretty Deadly. I could see the way he was heading, talking to them, but obviously they've given him a match, so it will be interesting. As you said, that they were giving him a big push, and then the pandemic hit, so it'll be interesting to see exactly where he's going here. So I would imagine he'll go over, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Eddie Dennis on that one too. So, Gary, that will do it for the NXT UK segment. I just put the logo up there now. That AEW. I just apologize to everyone watching at home. That one's on me. But we did actually have, before I let you go, Gar, we did have some UK tag team action on the stateside of NXT. The other half of Imperium, who actually I had them, I don't know if you heard the show last week, I thought maybe they would have had some involvement helping Walter and Alexander Wolf. That's where I was going with it. But they're still stateside. And then we got Fury and Furry, huh?
Big Killian Dane. I'm going to be biased. He's from Belfast. Trained in Scotland, but he's from Belfast. And he and Drake Maverick, as I said to you backstage before we started, if this was before a proper wrestling audience, this would be going down a storm. I mean, it was a good match. It really was. And Imperium, I think, are fantastic. Like Bartel and Acton are just superb. But I do think this tag team of Dane and Drake Maverick is going to be brilliant. Like Drake Spud has charisma dripping out of him, and he is a good wrestler too. But I mean, he has the charisma side down, and I do think it was a good fun tag team match. I really enjoyed it. But B, their partnership, as you say, the Fury and the Furry, I just think is going to absolutely be a blast over the next several months. It really will.
Yeah, and Drake Maverick, here's the thing. You can probably say, seriously, 100%, he's a better entertainer than he is a wrestler, but that's not saying he's a bad wrestler. He is a phenomenal athletic wrestler. And you said you called him Spud a couple times, or once I showed a couple times off air. For those of you who speak Impact, his name was Rockstar Spud in Impact, former X Division champion, actually.
But it'd be interesting because obviously, I mean, he was released when they did all the releases earlier on the year. He was gone, and then he did his social media video and they hired him back. And so, fair play to him. He's got back in, and he really has. This tag team, I think, could be fun to watch. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, and then at the end of that match, Everrise came out after Drake Maverick was pinned. Everrise came out because Maverick and Dane beat up they beat Everrise the week before. And then Killian Dane ushers those words that every younger brother wants to hear from their older brother. Nobody hits you but me.
Exactly.
That's love right there. That's love right. My brother said that to me on many occasions, my older brother.
That's it. The Beast of Belfast softening up. He's getting soft in his old age.
So, Gary, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know it's very big. I know I thank you every week for it. We truly do appreciate you having you on. Have yourself a great night, Gary. We will see you all next week. Looking
Yes,
forward.
I will do. Have a good one.
Gary, have a good night, pal. Tonight. So now we're gonna bring back in John Smith. We're gonna bring back in John DeConnie. We'll put the correct nameplates right there, gentlemen.
No, that's wrong.
What's that?
Your nameplates are wrong, but continue.
I gotta get there. You said I had the AEW logo the entire time up. I was talking about the UK. I don't. Free advertising for Tony Khan, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So sticking with NXT, John Smith. There was a huge North American Championship match. A lot of the matches we didn't have anything booked on Tuesday for this show from last week, so we couldn't have any winners. But they announced that right after our show, and I got excited. Damian Priest and Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, I thought it was a little soon for Lumis to get a shot. I understand why, because he was supposed to be in that ladder match. Typically, I don't like when matches like this end in, with interference. I like there to be a clear winner in a title match, even if it's like the champion retaining. But the fact that it was Cameron Grimes and he jumped to the moon and slammed his knees right into Lumis's chest. What a great ending! As far as the match is concerned, I mean, Lumis is just a stud. I got so much love for what he does in that ring. He just looks the part. He does everything perfect, and I can't wait for what the future holds for him.
Yeah, Dexter, he's going to be a star. He's going to be a star. Like I said, don't blink. You don't want to miss him, but he doesn't blink, so, right?
Yeah.
That was the main event. Earlier, then right after the match, Johnny Gargano attacked Damian Priest with a chair. Earlier in the night, Johnny Gargano had a match. He had a really good match with Austin Theory. I thought that was really good. John with heel on heel action. Wasn't too bad. And then after the match, after Gargano hit the one final beat DDT for the victory, walking up the ramp, looking back at Theory. Not bad. Okay, so now you got Austin Theory a little bit on the radar, and we got Andy Hartwell, John DeConnie, who's now officially on the Gargano radar, as Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart had a #1 contenders match for Halloween Havoc that I had Shotzi's name written all over.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense for her to roll into Halloween Havoc. I guess maybe the only tip ahead of time might have been that she's the host. So, okay, maybe she's not going to get a title match on the card, but these two went back and forth. Shotzi had a rough time early on, went right into the steel post, and had her face slammed into the apron on the outside. But she had her comeback. She had some crazy, almost the kill switch or the unprettier seated in the ring into a submission. Some really interesting offense on her. And then during her comeback, she just missed hitting her senton twice. Second time, Candice rolls out, and there's the new best friend of the Gargano family, Indy, to pass her a set of brass knucks and one right hand. And that's the end of the match there. Candice is going to Halloween Havoc for a title shot.
Yeah, so you combine Candice LeRae's win and Johnny Gargano's antics after the main event. William Regal is not happy with the Garganos, which is a little contradictory because I figured that, brass knucks were involved. William Regal would be okay with that,
Anyone.
Living off it for about 10 years in the Attitude Era.
That's probably why they still get their title shots.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. But, Regal had an announcement. Actually, Shotzi Blackheart was the one that made the announcement at the end of the night. They're going to spin the wheel and make a deal. Their version, I guess it was before Raw Roulette. I guess Raw Roulette was a rip-off of spin the wheel, make a deal. Now, that was a Halloween Havoc tradition back in the old WCW days at Halloween Havoc, 1992, 1993. Yes, Sting was involved. So I'll get into those matches next week. I did look them up. It was pretty crazy. But that will be we have 2 title matches confirmed, plus Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. They got into it backstage. Raquel challenged Rhea Ripley to Halloween Havoc. Ripley replied with a yes and then a punch to the face. So we got 3 matches booked for Halloween Havoc. So far, so good. Tony time. It was Tony time in the Capitol Wrestling Center. She got some new music. That entrance like gave me goosebumps. That was actually really awesome. And when she starts like interrupting people, like when it's Tony time, like when someone's in the ring talking trash and it's Tony time, Tony Storm is going to be a star. She's 24 years old. Hunter is gonna, you think Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. Tony Storm is going to the moon. Like I said, and even last year it started. She won the Mae Young Classic. She actually beat Rhea Ripley for the UK Championship, and then she was a part of Team NXT at the Survivor Series. So she's already got some, mainstream attraction. So there's no reason why Tony Storm can't hit the moon right now. Jake Atlas defeated Ashante the Adonis. The roll-up after a distraction from Legado del Fantasma. Was turned into Atlas actually helping Adonis. Then being joined by Swerve, and it looks like we have Swerve's not done. It looks like Ashante Adonis is going to be his buddy. Now you're going to throw Jake Atlas in this. We got a little 3-on-3 cruiserweight action. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then John Smith, I know you alluded to it last week. Xia Li got that letter from her fellow countryman Boa. She pleaded with Commissioner Regal to make sure she has a match next week. He said he would take it into consideration twice, but she seems desperate. There's something wrong. So,
yeah, I think she might be shaming her family back home or something.
Yeah, well, you said you have her on your Survivor Series team, and you have her. That'd be a nice little start if she could at least, win some type of qualifying match to make that team. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then actually in the opening match, the Undisputed Era defeated Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Kyle O'Reilly shot a promo before the match. This is going to be the second coming of the Prophecy. Undisputed Era we'll get to that in a second. And I kind of didn't put 2 and 2 together. Last week or 2 weeks ago when Rich Holland, the night he got injured, he came to the arena. He pulled up in some type of BMW or whatever it was. Somebody paid Rich Holland to take out Adam Cole. So this whole thing, I guess Rich Holland was supposed to be a henchman, a hired gun in this. So something's going on with Adam Cole. Any takers on who is going to be this benefactor, I guess? Benefactor?
Who are you asking, me?
Anybody.
I don't know why, but the first person I thought of was William Regal.
Wow!
Like just to finally have him be more than just the commissioner once every 5 shows to make a little decision, to have him part of something. I don't know. That's the first thing that came in my mind when you said that, but it probably won't happen. But that would be cool.
Regal really never interjected himself into like a feud like this. All right, John.
Authority, yeah.
Yeah. John Licani, any thoughts?
Wild guess, just pulling it out of nowhere. Maybe part of Finn's champion character is going to be needing someone to watch his back. Maybe he's going to go heel here, and he wants to stay protected from future challengers.
Right. Or it could be Pat McAfee.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was just going to say. I was like, oh, no, I got to say this. Yep, exactly.
He's
got the money.
He's got the money. He's got, I don't think Pat McAfee's done yet. But anyway, going into Ryan Joyner just chiming in. Bobby. Whoa, all right. Ryan Joyner's chiming in that it was Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Very interesting. All right. Speaking of those two, like they said, they won the number 1 contenders match against Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, and now they will be challenging this week our beloved tag team champions of Breezango, who are on a roll this year, 5-1 in this singles record, tag team record, 5-1 this year. Jonathan Smith, our senior NXT correspondent. What do you got?
I see the champs retaining in one way or another. I'm more concerned with what their entrance is going to look like. I'd like to see them come out as the Undisputed Era, but mocking them like DX style.
Now, John DeConnie, like I was going to mention this, is that the one show, the last time they had their tag team titles opportunities, it was against Imperium. It was the show that we had to cancel, unfortunately, because of the hurricane and the tree that hit my house. These belts are the foundation of the Undisputed Era. They win these, then they go full. Like, this is their staple. They've always had the tag titles, a.k.a. the New Age Outlaws. Like I showed in the graphic last week, they were 6-time tag champions because they always had them with the Generation X. Like, that was the foundation of the faction. And it was the same with the Undisputed Era. And in some way, it was usually O'Reilly with somebody, but they always had these tags. So this is a huge match for them to get back on track.
Yeah, and I think perhaps they lose tomorrow night. Champs retain, but maybe the Undisputed Era jumps them after the match, leading to a rematch at Halloween Havoc, so we can really get a Breezango entrance all in costume. And then maybe the Undisputed Era takes them there.
Yeah, I say, I wonder what is Halloween to Breezango? Like, they dress up everything as it is. Real quick, we're gonna hit up Raw and SmackDown. Real quick stuff that is not Hell in a Cell related. We'll start with SmackDown first. John DeConnie, a heartfelt moment in the ring. New Day kind of broke character or whatever. I don't think they had a script this time. They got to say their goodbyes.
Yeah, and if you're a New Day fan, this match was an absolute tour de force for them. You had Woods lifting Big E on his shoulders for a slam onto Cesaro. You had Big E power bombing Woods onto Sheamus at one point, and then Xavier and Big E hitting an assisted big ending on Sheamus for the win. You got to hear them speak. You got to see them hug, and a tear would shed. You got to see them tear it down in the ring. This was absolutely the send-off that they deserved.
Yeah, and like I said, was this a missed opportunity here? I guess the game plan go for. I wouldn't have turned Big E heel, anyways. I think he'd be better off as a face. But this was the moment. Like, oh my God! Like, this was Dean Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins the night Roman Reigns, vacated the Universal Champion. Like, this could have been, if you wanted heat, this was the moment. They didn't take it, which I'm completely okay with. I'd rather Big E just keep going. And then, like I said, in the Royal Rumble, like, oh my God, all three of us in the ring together, and they start doing their hips tyrant. It was, it's. You say Kofi said on Raw last night. He's like, we're gonna hold down Raw. He's gonna hold down SmackDown. We're good.
Big E works best as a face, and
yeah,
it allows his character to come out. So
he was doing during Nakamura's entrance. Big E was doing the spread eagle on the rope, bouncing, like, and then Kofi and Woods were bouncing him to the beat of the song. Oh, it was dying. John Smith, we saw Daniel Bryan back. We got Daniel Bryan return to the Thunderdome. That is your guy. Remember, he ripped the sign out of your hands a couple of years ago.
Couple of years ago, that was I want to say 2012 when that happened. Jeez. But yeah, no, I'm very happy to see him back. Very unhappy to have to watch him go against Rollins for the next month or so. But as long as it's keeping him in the limelight, they'll always have Rollins in the limelight. So, put Daniel against him, and then put him into the Intercontinental situation, Intercontinental situation with Sami Zayn. That'd be a really good match.
Well, yeah, he was in that tournament that after Sami vacated, or I guess he never lost, whatever, for the fake Intercontinental Championship, according to Sami. Daniel Bryan was the one. He made it to the finals. But yeah, I think Seth and Daniel Bryan's a great pairing. I don't remember them ever having a feud. So
yeah,
I think
Daniel Bryan was always on SmackDown, and Rollins was always on Raw.
Yeah. So they got into it. Then here come the Mysterios. Then here comes Murphy. Murphy actually jumped Rollins. He extended his hands to the Mysterios. to be like, okay, like you just saw what I did, and then just like I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, you're hitting on their 19-year-old daughter, their 19-year-old, like, no, they're not gonna shake your hand. Just be thankful they're not punching you and hitting you with kendo sticks right now. You know, like take what you got and walk away, and stop DMing their daughter / sister. The show started with Triple H and Stephanie in the ring, and they were announcing the new members of the roster, including their big prize prospect, Aleister Black, that they waited to the 6th round to draft. His name came up a million times. I'm like, dude, why did you wait so long to draft him anyway? But in true WWE fashion, that whole thing ended up in a brawl after when they announced who did they announce? The Smackdown, the Street Profits, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler jumped them from behind. The whole thing turned into a bleep show. And then here comes Lars Sullivan and Jeff Hardy, and Lars was wrecking house for a little bit, and then it started the match with Jeff Hardy. Hardy hit the Twist of Fate, then went up for the Swanton, and actually Lars got back to his feet, caught Jeff Hardy on the top rope, hit him with that freak ending, and that was the end of Jeff. So Lars is on his winning ways. Ew, puke emoji.
Puke emoji.
Hate Lars, though. Puke emoji. And then Otis is still working out the Mrs. lawsuit. Mrs. Delaying it to train Otis I guess, lawyer retention money. I don't know. But they went at it. They went at it on Raw. Might as well just get that one out of the way right now. El Gran Gordo. For those of you that need a translator, that stands for the Grand Gordo, which was Otis. The tag team match between El Gran Gordo and Tucker. They defeated the Miz and Morrison after a caterpillar and a Vader bomb by El Gran Gordo. But Miz's promo, I was able to spot on. But when Miz shoots fire, he can shoot some serious fire, and he is not happy that Otis has that Money in the Bank briefcase. And I believe the quote was, "It is spitting on every Money in the Bank winner that came before you," and it's like, kind of boy. Anyway, they got new music, new intro. Every day we fight to be legendary. Not anymore. So they got new music, and we don't have a new Raw tag. We don't have a new Raw Women's Champion, John DeConnie. Like I said in the beginning, Lana's not the best.
No, Lana not number one. She did open up with some kicks, a couple of elbows in the corner, but her problem was she went for a quick roll up, and the minute you start chain wrestling with Asuka and flippity flopping it, you're gonna wind up getting choked. And Lana wound up in the Asuka lock, and it didn't take very long. It was the second one. She made it to, I believe, a rope break on the first one, but second time around, cinched in, Lana taps, and that was it for her opportunity, but not it for her misery on this particular evening.
Yeah, you mentioned is that you don't want to, do the mat wrestling with Asuka, and it's that if somebody like Lana, who, the NCAA collegiate background that Lana has, I believe she was 3-time All-American in college. I believe she was an absolutely phenomenal chain wrestler back in her collegiate days. You can't.
Down at FSU, yeah. I mean, her and what the heck's her name? Jen Sturger down there at FSU. They were a heck of a tag team.
But yeah, for the 5th consecutive week, this is getting sad now. It's like almost, the bully's picking on the kid, and you look at it, you laugh once, and now it's just like, okay, dude, stop. Like, seriously, it's not funny anymore. Leave him alone.
Big old number 69.
Yep. Got a new joke with Nia Jax. There we go. 69 Nia. 69. Then a fatal 4-way broke out. Random tag team put together Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. That was kind of odd. You break up the Iconics just to put her with, Lacey Evans. Good idea.
They didn't see
Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, they defeated the Riot Squad. The aforementioned Peyton Royce, Lacey Evans, along with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. At the beginning of the show, Alexa Bliss was in the ring. She said, "Let him in," and then here comes the Fiend, and it is a pretty cool entrance. You know, it's going to rival the Undertaker at WrestleMania. How slow it takes him to walk the aisle. So when they get back to their football stadium, it's going to clock on the Fiend. But then here comes Retribution. It's going to screw with the Fiend. That was dumb. But anyway, Wyatt disappears. Here comes the Hurt Business, John Smith.
Yeah, and so happy that they came out on top in this. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how are you going to build up Retribution, bring them in, and then just have them lose in, their second match? And they tap out, no less. I mean, it wasn't Ali that tapped out, but it was the supposed leader, T-Bar. So, T-Bar, T-Bone. T-Bone. But I just don't. I don't know why you're going to make them look weak like that. I mean, hopefully they got something. Like even the promo that Ali gave us after the fact didn't even justify the fact that they lost. Like, hey, we don't care about wins and losses. They should have said at least that. Like, we're just here to ruin things. But
yeah, as Ali said it. Their strength isn't in numbers. Their strength is the chaos that he knows how to create with being this SmackDown mystery hacker. He admitted to being that, which is, I guess, cool. Wrap that story up, done and done. I was okay just forgetting about it, but I guess every story needs an ending. But yeah, so to be continued, that the Hurt Business got the win. It was the Hurt Lock on T-Bone. Like I said, hopefully, I was a little upset they're doing that now. Like I said, I would like to see a 4-on-4 at Survivor Series if you can like lay it out for that long. Let's have a series of 1-on-1 matches. Lashley versus T-Bone or Slapjack versus Cedric. You can stretch this out and then hopefully get the elimination going. But
wait, did you just say that he admitted to being the guy that was doing all the videos? I missed that part.
Yeah, it was
wrapped it up like that. That's bad. That's like when they made Hornswoggle, the anonymous Raw GM from underneath the ring, because they didn't know how to get themselves out of it.
Yeah, I guess it was always supposed to be him. Like I said, I guess you want to give that to him, so because he has the technology. We can make it. So, he has the computer. He knows everyone's. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I'm more interested in this than I was, at the beginning of Raw. Now, okay, if it's not wrestling, let's see what kind of, chaos that Mustafa Ali has up his sleeve here. Let's see what we can do here. And then after the fact that, after the match, they all got whooped by Bray Wyatt anyway. So that was fun. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse is officially moved to Monday Night Raw. They brought all their boxes over. Nice moment. I guess Rambling Rabbit. They got a whole bunch of carrots that he brought over from SmackDown. And they got a new friend, Alexa Bliss, broke out the old Freddy Krueger T-shirt from NXT. I don't know if you remember that one. I'm like, wait, it's a Freddy Krueger shirt. But so she's in the fun house now, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. AJ Styles, I can't even say this with a straight face. AJ Styles, seriously, come on. Okay, so they're gonna force feed us AJ Styles. If it isn't bad enough, they're gonna give him a huge 7-foot bodyguard that's carrying a gigantic shovel. They're gonna bury all this new talent like Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's done. All right, and they're just gonna keep on shoving AJ Styles down our throat. The guy's never losing. They can't get rid of. Says no one ever.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, it's funny how when it's AJ Styles doing it, everyone's okay with it. AJ Styles. So AJ Styles has a new bodyguard. His name is Jordan. I can't pronounce his last name. It was on the graphic. They didn't mention him by name on the announcers, Phillips, Joe, or Byron. His name is Jordan.
Omoga Beacon?
Oh my God. That's what I kept on saying. Oh my God, Jordan Ermagerd. I don't know his last name, how to pronounce it, but he is a big guy. I believe that was Shane McMahon's former Raw Underground bodyguard. Before that, I want to say that was Akira Tozawa's Giant Ninja. Remember the whole thing with the ninjas on motorcycles and then with the Street Profits and the War Vice Raiders outside. Braun Strowman got hit in the nuts for the second time on Monday. Actually, you know what? well, he actually hit Keith Lee first. He headbutted Keith Lee in the nuts, then a boot to the face. Keith Lee got upset with that afterwards, and then kicked Braun in the jimmies. So that Braun got this is turning into like an Undertaker Brock Lesnar thing, where it's going to be a low blow contest, and who can just knock Braun Strowman off his feet by like hit him the most in the nuts. The New Day was making fun of Sheamus for being ashy, and then pinned him with the Trouble in Paradise. We're calling Sheamus hot garbage. That's probably the funnest thing the New Day has ever. Sheamus, you're hot garbage. Hot garbage. They go out with the garbage, got thrown garbage at him. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to bump you guys back off again one last time. Make sure all your picks and everything are ready for Hell in a Cell and Bound for Glory. I'm going to bring Ryan Joy back on in a second because the G1 Climax concluded, and what a conclusion it was. What's his name? Ryan? There we go. That's his name. So we're going to take off that. That's what I wanted to do. All right, gentlemen, we'll see you in a little bit. Ryan, how are things going today, pal?
Well, I am good. However, we got another issue.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I reviewed, when you told me to go get groceries, I went back and reviewed
Okay.
the PWP picks for the anniversary show. I was, in fact, 4-1, not 3-2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So record showing, I'm dead last, so I gotta take a point.
No, I'll give you a win if it's that. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Is it on PWP.com or is it just check from the show?
It's on PWP. It's on PWP.
All right, awesome. All right, Ryan Joy. So the G1 Climax we had called last week, hell bent on Evil versus Jay White.
Yeah, we were incredibly wrong about that. Not for lack of trying though, because in order for Sonata to get past Evil, man, did he have to overcome a whole bunch of outside interference and all of the Bullet Club tricks in order to get past Evil, which he did with an O'Connor roll and a bridge in the B Block finals. So that sent him forward to the finals. But if you rewind back to the day before, there was a whole series of almost every match meant something in terms of how the finals were going to turn out. But it was really Jay White's block to lose. And all he had to do was beat Ishii. In order for...
That's not easy. That's not...
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. All he had to do was beat Ishii.
Yeah, that's right. Stone Bulldog, or whatever, the stone-faced Bulldog.
Yeah. So, they're having their match, and Jay White's calling him an old dog and, busting on him and picking on him. All the Jay White, dirty heel tactics in the book. And all of a sudden, brainbuster and a pin for Ishii, So that put Kota Ibushi in the finals against Sonata. Ibushi had to win his match that night too, and he had a 15-minute match with Taichi. All they did was kick each other the entire match. For 15 minutes, the only offensive move we see is kicks, and then Kamigoye, which is a V trigger to the face. So kind of a thrilling conclusion to the two block finals, and then we had our finals.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of credit here. Watching back last week's show, because we do send out clips every week on social media to get everybody ready for the upcoming shows that night. I remember in the New Japan, you actually you wanted to make it a point, be like, Sonata's not out of this thing yet.
Right.
Don't be shocked. So I'll give you half points on that one, right?
Yeah.
Sonata.
It was a crazy situation where both Naito had to lose and Sonata had to beat Evil, and it's they set it up perfect storytelling. Sonata lost his last 3 matches and then won the rest of his block matches to put himself in the finals. And then I'm thinking to myself, wow, New Japan's going to make a star out of this. They made a star with Evil in the New Japan Cup, and they're going to push Sonata right to the top. But as it turns out, Kota Ibushi goes to the finals for the third year in a row. That's historic. And then he wins 2 in a row. That's historic as well. So
yeah, you got the guy. There it is. Ibushi wins his second. Kota Ibushi.
Yep.
It is. That is a beautiful trophy, man. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it it looks sharp. But as interesting as it is, Ibushi gets through the G1, and the tradition is anybody who beats you in the G1, you're probably going to have to defend your right to challenge before we get to Wrestle Kingdom. And Jay White beat Ibushi in the early matches of the tournament, and already they've signed the match for Power Struggle, which is the same day as Full Gear. Ibushi will defend his right to challenge against Jay White. Nobody has ever beaten the right to challenge holder. So,
yeah, that'll be the next question. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody has ever done that. And they did also announce during the finals that Wrestle Kingdom 15 is going to take place as planned on January 4th and 5th from the Tokyo Dome. It is too big for one night.
That's what I was looking for. It's too big for just one night, Wrestle Kingdom. Before we get to Wrestle Kingdom, I love Wrestle Kingdom. It's an exciting. I love the dome atmosphere. They really put on a great show, especially with the entrance and the showmanship and the entrance. They really do go all out, And they said you go to G1 Climax a couple times. There's like a high school gymnasium, but they can put on a show in the Tokyo.
Sure can. Yep.
I remember you were also saying coming up, there's actually a neverweight 6-man tag team championship.
Yeah, this was built up throughout the tournament a little bit with people going back and forth, but you've got the never open weight championships, 6-man championships. They're going to be on the line this Friday morning. These win-loss records are correct. Actually, I had to double and triple check them, but that team has gone 8-0, so that's great for them. The other big news though that came out of the G1 is Will Osprey and Kazuchika Okada. They had their match on the A Block finals, which is Friday night, and all of a sudden, late in the match, Bea Priestley shows up to cheer on Will Osprey. She's in the corner cheering him on. Will kind of notices, and then as the match goes on and Okada's about to really close things out, Bea jumps up on the apron. And then some other guy called the Great O'Khan, he comes out of the crowd and he takes out Okada. A full-on Will Osprey heel turn. Osprey gets the win off that attack from Great O'Khan, and then afterwards even gets in Okada's face, gives him the hidden blade. F you for holding me back and all that. So big, massive heel turn for Okada or for Osprey. So that's probably a Wrestle Kingdom match right there. Yeah,
they were both in Chaos together. Okada's group is Chaos.
Yep. Except Osprey is probably going to be the Empire or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll see Bea Priestley back on TV too.
It is. Yeah.
Switching gears to Ring of Honor, our semifinals are booked for the Pure Championship Tournament. Let's see what we got. I'm going to pull up the brackets. And there it is. We got Hot Sauce and Josh the Goods Woods.
My guys, Lethal and Gresham, are alive.
That's it.
They're going to be facing off with Williams and Woods. The Tracy Williams and Fred Yehai. I think we mentioned last week that I thought it was pretty much done for Yehai. He had a couple of good matches, but it was. We've been talking about it as we talk about each set of matches that in these pure tournament fights, you only get 3 rope breaks. Mm-hmm. Well, Fred Yehai used up his, and then so Tracy Williams gets Yehai in the ropes and puts a dragon sleeper in the ropes. The referee can't break it.
Yeah,
he's in the ropes, but he can't break it. So, it was a tap out win there for Williams. So he goes on to face Lethal.
Very reminiscent actually what Gary was saying before with the Heritage Cup. Like, you put the rule in there. When's it going to come into play? When's it going to come into play?
Yeah.
You got Bomber Day Mastiff knocking people out, and now you got guys using up all their rope breaks and losing that way.
Yep.
So you've already made it abundantly clear that your picks for the finals. You've been calling Jonathan Gresham and Jersey J Lethal this entire time, and it's set up for you, Ryan. So we'll definitely tune in next week. We'll bring you back to discuss the finals. But then it didn't stop there.
Yeah.
EC3?
EC3, the last 1 or 2 shows, they've had video packages for EC3. So we knew he was coming, but he was, in fact, in attendance at the UMBC Event Center in Baltimore. He walked out. He gave his promo, calling out not just current Ring of Honor talent, but talent from the past, invoking the word dragon and Styles Clash and things like that. So, so he wants to control his narrative in Ring of Honor. But he did mention names like the Briscoes and other folks, and turns out he forgot to mention Shane Taylor. So now it looks like they had a little backstage altercation. The Briscoes came to his aid, and now it looks like we're setting up a six-man match between Taylor and SOS versus the Briscoes and EC3. That's the first.
That's going to be hard hitting. Is that the Briscoes? How long have they been? It just seems like they've been there forever.
Since the beginning. When I say the beginning, we're talking about the beginning of ROH.
Yeah, like that was a 2002, right, or 2001?
Yeah. I believe it's 2001 or 2.
All right, so we're going to switch gears here now. We're going to bring John Smith and John DeConnie back in. My phone is blowing up right now. John Smith needs to get back in wrestling mind and off fantasy football.
Sorry.
There's a lot of trades going on right now, John, but you're busy.
I wasn't busy for a minute.
You should have been getting groceries.
Or check your PWP scores.
See, I don't even know how I got that wrong. Is that the computer does all the work? Anyway, so we have Hell in the Cell coming up this Sunday. We're going to do Hell in the Cell first. We're going to give Bound for Glory its proper due and main event the show with that. And just so you know, obviously each and every year, Hell in a Cell is presented by Hell in a Cell. I believe it's a phone accessories store down in Guatemala, I want to say. So please go visit Hell in a Cell for all your cell phone needs.
Oh my God. I've never seen that.
Who says you have too much time on your hands, right?
Oh my God.
Here are the standings going in. Apparently these are incorrect. Ryan Joy, I believe, has what match did I get wrong, pal? How many
I'm not sure, but it was I should have 9 points, I think.
There. You have 9?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you got Archer wrong. I thought you had Sheet whatever. All right, so add 2 points to Ryan Joy's score here. But here are the overall standings. There are 20 shows counted towards the pools. Please go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com and play against us. Join the Central Wrestling Podcast pool. Or if you want, you can create a pool with your friends, play against each other, have a lot of fun with it. Prove that you're the best. And WWE specific pools, these are the current WWE standings. Ryan has a commanding lead. I don't know, say commanding. Within 10 points is John DeConnie. I'm talking about commanding over me. How about that? You can see those are our Clash of the Champions records on there as well. Those are the last pay-per-views that we did. The scoring for Hell in a Cell as follows. It's normal scoring, 5 points for the WWE Universal title, 3 for all other titles, 1 for non-title matches. But the fun part is the Hell in a Cell matches get a 5-point bump, which are both WWE and Universal Championship matches. So those will be worth 10 points. Anything interpromotional, if that gets booked, gets doubled. Kickoff matches don't count. Otis is still floating around with the Money in the Bank cash-in wager. And if you go Henning, then you get an additional 5 points as well. Actually, this show would be 10 since the highest point value actually is 10 points. So, gentlemen, there have been 42 Hell in a Cell matches in WWE history. Spell them.
Randy Orton.
Yeah, no,
John Cena.
Stop. That was a Bobby Heenan girl. We're live in over 50 countries. Yeah, spell them. Oh, will you stop? There are 42 Hell in a Cell matches in WWE history. They're going to throw 3 more on that list that we are aware of. I can't imagine them doing any more than 3 in a year. The first one they're going to throw this. We're going to go right back at it. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Roman Reigns had a title defense against Braun Strowman. Got in the low blow, kicking out of the pinfall, which is a very clever way to do a low blow. He didn't really give Roman too much credit for that. At the last pay-per-view at Clash of Champions against Jey Uso. And then he beat the holy hell out of Strowman, and then he gave the chair to Jey Uso to take a swing, and Jey did. So this is gonna be pretty hard hitting here, guys. I really, again, I think just Jey Uso is just in for a world of hurt here. So I'm sorry, John Smith, who do you got? You laughed the hardest at my Hell in a Cell joke, so you go first.
I'm definitely going with Roman Reigns. I'm just looking forward to the match. It's going to be brutal.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I don't see any way Reigns doesn't leave. I'm just interested to see what the biggest stipulation or consequence of all time is going to turn out to be.
Well, I think the I Quit match is the biggest stipulation. You put an I Quit match in the cell, and I believe that's what you're talking about. So I don't think that
nothing more to come necessarily then. All right.
Yeah, the thing that Ryan Joy, the thing that's kind of throwing me off here. So on SmackDown against Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns broke out a submission move that Michael Cole completely threw Braun Strowman under the bus for tapping, which is made its rounds on social media. I caught it while I was having. Wait a minute, he didn't tap. Anyway, we'll let Braun Strowman and Michael Cole fight that out at another time. But if Roman Reigns is now choking people out here, like, is this going to be a pass out, or does Jey have to say, I quit here? Like, what are we?
I was thinking about this whole, I quit stipulation. Like, it goes back to their last match at Clash where Jey just wouldn't give up.
No.
What's it going to take what's Roman going to do to him that's going to get him to say those words? It's going to have to be a pass out.
Yeah. Just quick records in Hell in a Cell matches. Roman Reigns is undefeated at 2-0-1. He defeated Bray Wyatt in 2015 and Rusev in 2016, and then that honey of a no contest against Braun Strowman 2018 that went over well with the WWE Universe, just as well as Rollins and Bray Wyatt did. And actually, Jey Uso is 1-0. The Usos defeated the New Day in 2017, was an incredible Hell in a Cell match. Going forward, the contract signing for the SmackDown Women's Championship kind of half took place. I wouldn't say a little upset. I'm very upset by it because Sasha Banks, where was her ink stamper? I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yes, you're gonna boom. And she signed it. I couldn't. Maybe it's just heel Sasha that does it. I was just so upset and so let down by that. And then Bayley didn't even sign it. So now I guess is this the new thing with contracts in WWE? Like they won't sign them like Roman did until the last minute. Like what? I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, will be I believe the third women's Hell in a Cell match of all time. Sasha Banks, she was in the prior two. Both in losing efforts to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Ryan Joy will start with you on this one.
I think Bayley's going to win this match. She's going to leave with the SmackDown Championship. This feud must continue. It doesn't necessarily need to continue right now, as we've talked about on previous shows. So this could be a situation where we get Sasha written off for a while. Bayley didn't sign that contract. Maybe she shows up like Roman does at the last second with added stipulations that Sasha has to leave SmackDown if she doesn't win, or maybe Sasha has to wrestle with one arm around behind her back or something. I don't know. But in any case, I think Bayley's winning this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on here and go Bayley as well. And I know we talked about it, and just thinking about Survivor Series and the team that I had to put together to represent SmackDown. That was hard enough as it was with Sasha Banks on that team, or Bayley if Sasha Banks actually wins. One of those two. that division needs somebody. It needs both of them on there right now. It's Sasha, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and that's it. So I really, if they're gonna delay this the way you say, Ryan, it makes complete sense. I just think SmackDown's women's division is gonna completely suffer for it. John DeConnie, who do you got?
I'm gonna echo what I said in the pre-show. I think someone has to be off TV for a while for this to restart and lead up to WrestleMania. And Bayley, with her trusty chair, and Sasha already being hurt, it makes sense. Bayley retains, hurts Sasha again, and she disappears for a little while.
Yeah. John Smith?
I think no matter what, Bayley wins. If they write Sasha off for a while, that's cool. If not, it could be like, well, you don't get another shot because you lost. Then she can go against Bianca Belair, and then Sasha can win the Rumble or something. But no matter what, this isn't ending until WrestleMania with Sasha holding that belt eventually, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, that's got to be the big payoff here. So, like I said, with only 4 matches booked right now at Hell in a Cell, 2 are on the SmackDown side. Here are the 2 for Raw. Elias put on an absolutely shocking performance last night. That was actually really good. I mean, I never knew. I mean, you always hear Elias as an acoustic, just one person. Like, you never actually heard him with a band before, and he sounded really good. Make sure you pick up his album, The Universal Truth, next Monday, October 26th, which, again, I can't stress it enough, is also Pat Sajak's birthday. Please make sure you tune into the Wheel of Fortune that day. But then Jeff Hardy came out. Jeff Hardy can tickle the ivory a little bit too here. Wait, that's piano. He knows how to play the guitar as well, I guess is what my point is. I think John's in a giggly mood. I think I'm going to keep John happy right now.
Yeah, right.
Jeff can play it as well, so it's actually a nice little battle of the bands here. I hope this actually turns into that at some point, but they're going to go at it. Elias was not happy, as usual, when he gets interrupted during his concerts. They will go at it this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, not in the Cell, and Elias looks ripped in that picture. John DeConnie, haven't started with you yet. Who you got?
I think I don't know if it's more entertaining Elias losing his mind and losing first match back, but I'm gonna go with Elias since he's back. He's got an album out. We got a concert from him. Keep it rolling.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, definitely Elias for the same exact reasons.
All right, Ryan Joy.
Hey, Elias, because he's 3-0. He's undefeated.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to be that guy. I'm going Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy's on such a roll in 2020, and I think it's just going to settle. It's going to ruin his Monday. It's going to ruin his album drop, and it's just going to make him consistently just go after Jeff Hardy and stretch this into hopefully maybe like a Battle of the Bands or something like that. So I'm going to go Jeff Hardy to ruin the album drop. And then the final, like I said, probably the end of their series. I'm not sure if it's going to be the main event or not. We kind of predicted this would be the main event, the Clash, and it wasn't. But Randy Orton is going to get a shot again. He's going to take a crack at Drew McIntyre inside Hell in the Cell, as they made it abundantly clear on many times last night. This will be Randy Orton's 8th Hell in the Cell match. He is 4-3. This will be Drew McIntyre's first. Never been in before. But the fun little fact here, Randy Orton's been in it 7 times already. He was in it 2 years ago against Jeff Hardy with the screwdriver in the ear. But before that, he wasn't in it. It was 2014. He lost to John Cena. So to say, Randy's been in Hell in a Cell. Okay, he's only been in it once in the past 6 years. So, how much of an advantage are we really getting here? So, Ryan Joy, who do you got for the WWE Championship, and probably will be the final chapter in this feud?
I think this is the hardest one to pick too, but I'm gonna stick with Drew. I think he holds that title.
All right. John Smith.
I think I said a while ago that this was all leading up to Randy Orton winning the title eventually, so I gotta stick with what I said. I'm going with Randy Orton.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I had Orton at the last pay-per-view and was wrong, but I'm gonna be that guy. Stick with him, and once again say Orton new champ.
All right, I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre here, and well, I said I'd never bet against him ever again. I'm tired of losing points on Drew. 3 times now. I'm freaking 15 points down in the standings. But anyway, maybe I'm looking at the draft a little too deeply here, but the fact that Bray Wyatt was picked 1 and not Randy Orton, like that should have been Randy Orton at number 1, and Bray Wyatt could have easily been 3. But they flipped them. I'm calling it out. I think Bray Wyatt is eventually going to be the one to beat Drew McIntyre. And I want to say the draft I felt like the draft is making me lean that way. I say the draft gave it away. That's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. But I don't know. I think that they're making Bray be a face now because he's fighting Retribution. I don't think he's going to, attack McIntyre in the ring after the match is over on Sunday. But I think eventually the Fiend is going to be the one to get it. And I think because he was drafted first, I think that's kind of a telltale sign. For those of you who love Tyler Adele and miss Tyler Adele and miss that beautiful face, he actually did text me these picks about an hour ago. He must be watching. Oh my God, my picks. He's going with Roman Reigns and Bayley to retain. He's going with Randy Orton with the win to win the WWE Championship, and he's taking Elias as well. So I'm alone on the Jeff Hardy bandwagon, which makes my smile a lot bigger. I'm right. So, and don't forget, as I'm about to say, Impact coming up this Saturday is Bound for Glory. This is their version of WrestleMania, and the reason why it kind of dawned on me, I forgot to mention to you guys, Smackdown this Friday, the go-home show for Hell in the Cell is actually going to be on FS1 because baseball's version of WrestleMania, it's called the World Series, is actually going to be on Fox that night. So Smackdown, I guess baseball has a WrestleMania too. They just call it the World Series. I don't know.
Too big for just 6 nights, something like that.
Too big. So going into Impact, actually before we get to Bound for Glory, we got one very important match that we need to discuss. And John DeConnie, we'll throw this at you real quick. Father James Mitchell's resurrection is on the line here tonight on Impact. Rosemary is going one-on-one against Havoc. Their wedding, I believe, is next Tuesday, the 27th. I was wrong last week. It's not at Bound for Glory. Their wedding will be on the 27th. I believe all of these women will be entered into that gauntlet. But who you got on this one?
Well, first of all, for you, because I know you love it,
On the night.
all right.
They have that song, We Own the Night, and Ryan Joyce stirring up crap on social media about Tuesday Night Wars. Now, Impact.
Okay, so getting back to our very important match, I'm going to go with Havoc because otherwise, how does the wedding take place? So,
And wouldn't Rosemary have to win then?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Wouldn't Rosemary have to win then? I mean, that's really...
Yeah, I can't read my own notes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. Oh, yeah, I was about to say, all right? So, yeah, Rosemary was bring back the Citizen Minister. All right, I think we're all in agreement on there. So, going into Bound for Glory, I already showed you the overall standings. Here are our Impact standings. John Smith trucking along, which started 0-7 or whatever it was, is now one match under 500. John Smith, this is a big show for you. We're rooting for you, pal. Bryan and John both tied at 13-8. John DeConnie has a couple more points due to the point values of the matches. I'm not doing too bad at 17-4. I'll take that. I said we're doubling the points for Bound for Glory. This is their WrestleMania, so we'll double some points here. 10 points for the Impact Championship, 6 for all the other title matches, 2 points for the non-title matches. There are no pre-shows. I believe they are running a kickoff show or whatever. I don't think there's going to be any matches on it, though. But if they do, they will not count. The perfect pay-per-view is up to 10 points if you go Henning. Just a couple. Where's my Bound for Glory notes? Oh my God! Just like I said, it's been 18 years. The original Bound for Glory is probably one of my favorite shows of all time. There are actually 4 wrestlers wrestling on Saturday that were in the first Bound for Glory. Alex Shelley was on the kickoff show way back when in a fatal four-way against Sanjay Dutt, Roderick Strong, and Austin Aries. And that match was absolutely incredible. And that was the kickoff show. That didn't even make the main card. Chris Sabin was also at the first opportunity. He competed in a number one contenders Ultimate X match with Matt Bentley, and the winner was Petey Williams. It was almost like an Otis thing. The X was swinging and swinging and swinging. It actually just dropped on its own, and Petey Williams on the ground and caught it. It was, I don't know how they booked it to do that, but that was actually pretty crazy. And Eric Young, our defending Impact World Champion, he was at the original Bound for Glory as a member of Team Canada with Scott D'Amore, ironically enough, as their manager. He teamed up with the guy named A1. There's another guy named Bobby Roode. I don't think it'll make any of them. There was a six-man tag, and they fought the Three Live Crew. For those of you who don't know the Three Live Crew, it was, let's use the WWE names. It was the Road Dogg, it was R-Truth, and then Conan from WCW. So that was an amazing six-man tag as well. I do believe, Bobby Roode hit the Road Dogg with a hockey stick, the Canadian flag on the hockey stick. The other matches on the first show, Samoa Joe fought Jushin Thunder Liger in the first match. That was the curtain jerk. Lance Hoyt, for those of you who don't know, that's Lance Archer. He was at the first Bound for Glory. He fought Monty Brown. America's Most Wanted defended the TNA NWA Tag Team Championships against the Naturals, who were managed by Shane Douglas. And then some guy, this new up-and-coming guy, his name was AJ Styles. He defended the X Division Championship in a 30-minute Iron Man match against Christopher Daniels, which was an absolute crazy. I believe it was about 2 seconds left. Styles got the last-minute pinfall. But as I'm sure that you counted along with me, I said there was 4 guys that competed in the original Bound for Glory. I only named 3. That's because the 4th one is Rhino. Rhino, the man beast from Detroit, Michigan, the last ever ECW World Heavyweight Champion. Rhino, who made the most significant impact in TLC as he took out a member of both the Hardys and the Dudleys. Rhino, during the stipulations of his Monsters Ball match, had to go 24 hours without food, without water, and without daylight, and then compete in a no disqualification Monsters Ball match, which he won by Rhino driving Jeff Hardy off of the middle turnbuckle. He then went on to go into the number one contenders gauntlet match and outlasted 9 other guys to earn a championship match later that night, where Rhino, the man beast from Detroit, Michigan, won the NWA TNA Heavyweight Championship in an almost impossible fashion, beating Jeff Jarrett, who was absolutely untouchable back in 2000, whatever this was, 2002 or whatever it was. Jeff Jarrett, you could shoot him with a gun. He was kicking out at 2. So now we got Rhino, the man beast, doing probably the most selfless thing he could possibly do this year at Bound for Glory, putting his own career, his own contract on the line so that his best friend, who needs a job and who has kids, can get a contract with the company. And they're going to be going at it at the Call Your Shot Gauntlet against 18 other guys, where the winner of the match, not only for Heath, gets the contract, not only for Rhino, who keeps his contract, but the most important thing with this gauntlet is that you get a championship match of your choosing, any title you want, and there will be men in here, there will be women in this as well. John DeConnie, Rhino, the man beast from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes,
got
sir.
him or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some scenario unfolds where Heath, I think maybe Heath spoiling tonight, wins to be number 20 into the gauntlet. He's either going to be number 20 or number 1, but I think he wins. Looks like he's got the easy road and then gets almost immediately eliminated. and it's up to Rhino to save both of their jobs. And I think Rhino takes it.
All right. Like I said, there is a fatal 5-way tonight. Let me see if we got this right. I have the graph. What the hell am I looking at? I did have the graphic. And there's a fatal 5-way tonight with the 5 people that won last week. It was
Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia.
Rhino, Heath, Hernandez, and Cousin Jake.
Jake the Deaners on the Briscoes. The Briscoes are the Deaners. Winner gets number 20, but whoever gets pinned gets number 1. So that's the crazy thing with that. So, Ryan, who do you have in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet on Saturday?
I think John DeConnie laid it out pretty well, and I'm not coming up with anything better. So,
all right.
I pick Rhino.
Rhino is 5-2 in Bound for Glory history. And then actually there was a Bound for Gold Gauntlet last year that Eddie Edwards won. John Smith, who do you got?
I want to say Heath, but I'm going to go with Rhino also because there's a lot of points on the line in this show.
Yeah, this only has 2. There's a lot of gauntlets in Bound for Glory history. Remember, I think it was the second Bound for Glory. It was the Kevin Nash X Division Invitational. I believe it was the winner got a bowling trophy. Some guy named Austin Starr won it and turned out to be Austin Aries. I'm going to go Heath, and here's where the fun. Okay, it's simple, basic, whatever. Heath wins. Great. Heath doesn't know Rhino is doing this for him. So when Heath goes for the world title, when he could go for the tag titles with Rhino heel turn, because Rhino gets paid. Yeah, I did this for you. You can't even give me with it. So that's what I'm going to call. So Heath gets it now, and then he's going to completely just skip over Rhino in the tag titles. That's going to piss Rhino.
Maybe Heath eliminates Rhino as soon as he gets in.
But then as long as one of the 2 wins, that's all that Rhino cares about. That one of the 2 wins. It has nothing to do. Anyway, so speaking of Eddie Edwards, Eddie Edwards is going to be going one-on-one with the man that attacked him. Well, that's a lot of Rhino pictures. I got to delete. There we go. Eddie Edwards and Ken Shamrock are going to be going at it. That's the first time I've seen that Ken Shamrock drawing. They're going to be going at it. Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan, again, just been jumping Eddie Edwards. Sami Callihan is trying to make Ken Shamrock the destructing machine that he was in the past. Eddie Edwards is going to take the brunt of it. Eddie Edwards is 5-1 at Bound for Glory. His one loss was to Aaron Rex. For those of you that don't speak Impact, that's Damian Sandow in the inaugural Grand Slam Championship match. And I believe it was supposed to be Aaron Rex versus some guy named Drew Galloway, but I think Drew Galloway had a better opportunity somewhere else. So, John DeContie.
Okay, if they can keep Ken Shamrock's head together long enough for him to remember where he's supposed to be, I'm going to assume that Sami Callihan somehow gets involved and costs Eddie Edwards the match. So I'm going to go with Shamrock.
Wow, all right. Ryan Joy.
Yeah, same. I like Ken Shamrock in this match. He's too prideful to lose on pay-per-view.
All right, Ken Shamrock is 0-1. He lost to Moose last year, John Smith.
Yeah, I got Ken Shamrock winning too.
Wow. Maybe I'm just off tonight. I don't know. I'm going Eddie Edwards. I just say 5-1 sticks out. He won the Impact Championship at the last pay-per-view. I know they kind of just took it right off him for Eric Young, but man,
either your points are going to the moon.
I know, right? If I score, as I said, that 17-4 is just going to take it.
Or you're going down.
The X Division 6-way scramble, John DeConnie. Here we go. Your girl Jordan Grace making her Bound for Glory debut, challenging for the X Division Championship. Rohit Raju, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel, along with Jordan, all making their Bound for Glory debuts. Willie Mack is 1-1. TJP is 0-3. But this is to be the first time he'll be competing as TJP. He used to wrestle years ago as a wrestler named Manic. And he's actually been in several X Division Championship matches in Bound for Glory history. The X Division champion is 10-4 all time at Bound for Glory. John DeConnie, who do you got? I'm going to get you out of the way first.
All right, I want to say Rohit finds a way out of this, but I don't think so. And then I want to say Jordan wins, but I think after the last time they took a chance with putting a traditionally men's title on a woman, it didn't work out so great for them, so they're probably a little gun shy. Just out of nowhere, I'm going to say Trey Miguel.
All right. Ryan Joy, last year, Ace Austin won a 5-way ladder match to become X Division champion. That also had a woman in it as well. Tessa Blanchard was actually in that X Division. This is the second year in a row. A woman will be challenging for the X Division championship.
I think Rohit is just sneaky enough to actually come away with this.
I'm with you. Rohit wants you. I got to keep that graphic going. I like that.
Miracles do come true, as we've documented on this show.
John Smith.
I'm going to go with TJP.
Any particular reason or no?
Just because he's been like kind of not forgotten about in this, but like he hasn't been as spotlighted as everybody else. So I feel like it's all leading up to him winning it for some reason. I don't know.
All right. Impact Tag Team Championships will be on the line. The Motor City Machine Guns, who are 1-0 all time, who are 5-0 in 2020. Undefeated has been the key word for them. They'll be getting challenged by the Good Brothers, by the North, and by Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. NWA, TNA, Impact Tag Team Champions, all time 7-6. Last year, the North retained the Tag Team Championship. They beat the team of Willie Mack and Rhino, along with the team of Rob Van Dam. I'm sorry, Willie Mack and Rich Swann, and then Rob Van Dam. He was teaming with Rhino. It was a 3-way tag team match. I've been saying it for weeks now. Might as well make it official. Ace Austin, Madman Fulton. This is all building to them. John Smith.
I agree.
I like your style. Ryan Joy.
I hate to agree, but I do. Primarily because I think the Good Brothers are on their way to Japan for the World Tag League.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, I was actually going to bring that up. If that had any effect on you think if the Good Brothers are going to be going overseas.
Yeah.
If they can get there. I guess guys are traveling back and forth now. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I have to admit, over the last couple of weeks, you've talked me into this, and plus I figure when the Good Brothers do win it, it'll be just a 2-on-2 where they'll be spotlighted in their win. So I'll go with Ace and Fulton as well.
Okay. I like that we're all in agreement on that. Joe Jersey. Go Jersey. So according to Moore, what was that?
I said, yet they haven't won a match yet. So
No, they have not. No better time to start than on a major pay-per-view, the biggest one in the company year calendar. So to quote Scott D'Amore, Moose has a match at a pretend location against an opponent that doesn't even work here, a title that he never won. How does that not make sense? It's so simple. John DeConnie.
I'm going to say Moose finds a way out of this one, or not out of it, but finds a way to win this one, just so he can continue with that storyline, which they seem to, be entertained with. And since EC3 is going to be perhaps doing some jumping around, I'm going to say Moose takes it.
All righty. John Smith, EC3 is 3-2 all time at Bound for Glory. Both of his losses came in the main event. He lost to Matt Hardy and then again to Bobby Lashley, both for the TNA championships. Moose, on the other hand, is 2-3. He's the other way around. Like I said, last year he defeated Ken Shamrock. Before that, he beat the Miracle Mike Bennett. What you got?
I got EC3 winning this one. Yeah. No reason.
As we just heard in Ring of Honor, Ryan, EC3 wants a fight, and I think that's what he's getting right here. This is what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think EC3 is going to win this. I think they're going to protect him, and he's going to be a challenger here for the world title before long.
All right, I'm going to go EC3 as well. I don't like to bet against him, so. Sorry, we got to pick this up just a little bit. I Spy a Jersey Girl. The TNA Knockouts Championships, Impact Knockouts Championships, they're 6-6. At Bound for Glory history, they've won 2 in a row and 4 of the last 6. They're on a little bit of a winning streak here. This will be a Deonna Purrazzo's Bound for Glory debut, as well as Kylie Ray's. So this was the match I called that Slammiversary. This is the match I can't wait to see. John Smith, you going Jersey?
Absolutely, going Jersey.
What I like to hear, John Nicani.
Yeah, I think if Kylie does take the title from her eventually, it'll have something to do with the fact that we've started to see angry Kylie and maybe bringing back Su Yung and the two of them, kind of forming some kind of clique together. So I think Deonna retains here.
All right. Sounds good. Ryan Joy.
Yeah, what John said, I think Susie gets involved, smile to the finish for the victory.
All right, so you're going to go Kylie Ray on this one. All right, cool. And then the main event, after months or weeks and weeks of attacks by Eric Young on Rich Swann in his training facility and the constant updates. Rich Swann came out last week saying he was cleared, he's ready to go. So the main event is going to happen. The Impact World Champion, it's 5-8, not the best record in all time, but they've won 3 of their last 4, including last year where Brian Cage defeated Sami Callihan to retain the Impact Championship. John Nicani, our senior Impact correspondent, who do you got?
This might be the hardest one on the card for me because everything seems lined up for Rich Swann to take it here. I'm just not 100% on board with it, but I'm going to go with Rich Swann because points.
Okay, John Smith.
Yeah, it's all been leading up to this, and I don't think Eric Young has any sort of ego that would make him demand to keep this title for any reason in a backstage, sort of way. So, yeah, I'm going with Swann.
All right, Brian Joy.
Yeah, I'm on board. I think Swann's going to win this. Good feel-good moment to end the show.
Crap. I got Eric Young. All right, so I got Jeff Hardy, I got Eric Young, I got Eddie Edwards. Okay, this is going to be a fun show next week when this I just think this whole thing is centered around Eric Young. I don't think Rich Swann has done anything to, he got injured and then he got injured and then he got injured. There's no story with the whole story is Eric Young. So I just figured I'll just stick with him. Gotta rush this real quick. Unfortunately, like I said, we're running really low on time right now. This will be the longest PWP show of all time. If that's when you have the PWI 100 women along with 2 pay-per-views to pick, even though one of them was only 4 matches. My WrestleMania top 30 countdown, we're at number 23. We're going back to the women, and we're going back to WrestleMania 19. Give me Trish Stratus, give me Victoria, and give me Jazz. Oh, this match was, I don't say ahead of the time, ahead of the Women's Revolution, but this match at that time in 2003 when I first saw this, my jaw just hit the ground. And I watched it again today like I do all these matches just so it's fresh in my head. This was completely non-stop. All these women are great wrestlers, great athletes. Now, Trish is at how many years into her career now? She was a very well-established technical wrestler at this time. Stevie Richards hit himself in the head with a chair, so you got your comedy routine out of him. Trish hit the chick kick at the end on Victoria to recapture the WWE Women's Championship. This is it. This is it for the women for me. This is the highest, ranked women's match I have on my list. So this is my favorite women's match in WrestleMania history of all time, even ahead of the Iconics and ahead of anything the Horsewomen have ever done. Jazz was just a bad bee, man. She was a bad bleep, and she just, even walking down the aisle, JR, I'm going to mean this as a compliment. She's got that Mike Tyson swagger. She's got that young Mike Tyson swagger. Jazz is just not somebody to screw with. Next week, this Friday, make sure you check out the Primetime Rundown with Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca. Make sure you come back and see us next Tuesday, the 27th, after Elias's album drops. And this is wedding day. Guys, are we going to suit up black tie affair for Rosemary and Johnny or Joey Bravo? Take that as a no. All right. Ryan, you want to shoot off the Body Slam Brigade?
Yeah. This past week's issue was kind of detailing the title reigns and 2020 years of Jon Moxley and Drew McIntyre. A lot of parallels, very interesting. They're both currently 23-0. They both had 8 title defenses. So just a lot of interesting similarities, and I kind of broke that down in this week's or last week's issue. This week, I am going to the subject is definitely going to be Sasha and Bayley, although I don't know exactly what the full content is. That's going to be it, and there's a little special artistic surprise. So subscribe.
Right. So thank you very much for joining us today. For John Smith, John DeConnie, for Ryan Joy, thank you to all of our millions and millions of Zingo subscribers on channel 198 of the I-95 Sports Networks. Easy to Observer page on Facebook, ProWrestlingPick'em.com. For Ryan Joy and MinutesToBellTime.com. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Tegan Knox, we miss you. Hope your rehab is going well. Get well soon. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. I hate Lars, though. Puke emoji. Oh, I forgot Tyler is a writer now. Make sure you check out Tyler's stuff on the Eastern Observer. John DeConnie, take it away.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Again, this episode is brought to you by Hell in a Cell.